Good evening. Welcome to Moments with Lady K and Mr. T Show, where they converse on motivational living, clearing negativity from your life, local events, and more. Here are your hosts, Kimberly McLemore and Tarek Coles.
All right. Well, hello and welcome to Moments with Lady K and Mr. T. We are your hosts, Kimberly McLemore and Tarek Coles, better known as Lady K and
Mr. T.
Dun, 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 dun. Yay! We did a little extra for today because I am definitely feeling extra today. So it has definitely been one of those weeks. Wow. Well, Mr. T, welcome. It's always a joy to have you on tonight's show. And I'm so excited for you to tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself. And then, of course, I will introduce myself.
Oh, well, thank you, Lady K. To all the listeners out there, I guess our momenteers out there that are listening in. Hey, how y'all doing? How your mama doing? Just wanted to say, hey, I am the owner operator of movewithtee. Here in the DMV, that's the DC, Maryland, Virginia, greater metropolitan area. For those who don't know, not the Department of Motor Vehicles, as I like to remind all of you. movewithtee is a holistic fitness company where we focus on not just physical fitness, but on overall wellness, including mental health and wellness, physical health and wellness, just everything that you can think of under the umbrella. We try to do a little bit of that. And of course, we try to inspire, motivate, like we do here on Moments with Lady K and Mr. T, just to inspire I call them my movers and shakers. Shout out to my movers and shakers. What up? Mm-hmm. To keep everybody just motivated throughout the week and the best version of themselves. Outside of that, I am a healthcare worker. No, I'm not on the front lines, but sometimes I feel like it because yesterday I got cussed out 3 times. I got cussed out 3 times by 3 different patients within an hour, and I'd only seen 5 patients within the first hour of my day. And I said, this is going to be a long day. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, I think all of it got it out the way because whatever needed to happen happened, and I was okay for the rest of the day. Everybody else was amenable, and they were friendly, and they were understanding, and they were receptive to the information that I was sharing with them. So I said, you know what? I had been cussed out all week, so the Lord just decided to put it on my Friday, and I said, that's okay. We'll deal with that. It is what it is. And I am also a contributor to the Z-Beat, which is a magazine that was created, online magazine that was created by my good friend Dana, who you can also find online, and you'll see me feature her if you follow Move with T on Instagram and Facebook, where I'm doing something for Women's History Month. So you will see me feature her next week in another special another special presentation, and I've also featured the lovely Lady K as well this past week. So hopefully you all will go check out Move with T and see all those wonderful words that I wrote about our wonderfully esteemed co-host.
Yes. I was, to say the least, I was extremely shocked and I think I kind of mentioned even in my post that, you don't really think about what you do, and, when you're just used to doing it. But when somebody else is looking on the outside in and paying attention, it really captured my heart in a different way. I was like, wow, to the words that you said and the things that you said, I thought was very kind and considerate. But at the same token, I realized like, wow, you have accomplished a lot. And even though every day I feel like, I'm still on the struggling side trying to continue to grow and do what I'm doing, but it's always great to be appreciated. So thank you so much for that amazing post about me this week.
You are very welcome. Very welcome. So much good work. So much more to come, but so much good work already done. And I know there's so much more in the works. And this month, since we are in the heart of Women's History Month, something and I'm not trying to make this about Move with Tea at all, but on Wednesdays, I do a Wellness Wednesday, And part of the Wellness Wednesday, normally we do health tips, but I wanted to tie in the Women's History Month, because for those of you all who don't know, listeners, March is Women's History Month. So on Wednesdays, I've been highlighting 3 women in our area who are doing wonderful things, who all also happen to be dance fitness instructors or dance fitness students who are faithful and do tremendous work in their respective areas outside of the gym. And Lady K is no exception, because she does so much good stuff, and she spreads the love, she spreads the education. She's educated me, and I was like, she deserves her recognition. So thank you once again for all the good work that you do, not only every day, but all throughout the year. So kudos.
Thank you so much.
And for the listeners, and I'll say, and for the listeners who are wondering where Mr. Pepper is in a completely separate room, because he wanted to come in the room with me where I go to record now, and he hasn't had his bath, and I did not want to smell him until after his bath is done. So I had to say, you get to stay out here, and once you get your bath, maybe next time we record, you can come in. But this time, you got to stay out here. He's not, he don't smell bad. He just smells like a dog, and it's a very small space, and I just don't want to be smelling him, until he gets his bath.
So wrong on so many levels, because Pepper is our extra co-host on the show. Normally, when we used to do live shows through video, we always would show our co-host, because he was always hanging out with us. So, he's always a part of the show, even in spirit. So even though he's not being seen, we always want to make sure that we bring him on and so he can say hello to everybody. And he just kind of like, yeah, whatever. But
exactly, he just likes to be seen. He's in the.
Yes. No, I was gonna say because he's so cute. It's like, well, how could you not want to see Pepper on, live? But anyway.
Well, I would say Pepper, and excuse my language, y'all, Pepper's an attention whore. So you rub his belly, give him a treat, and he'll come and hang out with you for the rest of the day. And it's just like, if there's a camera rolling and I'm doing something, he's like, oh, I got to show up. When I do my virtual pop-up classes, he's hanging out on the love seat. Mm-hmm. Just sitting there, and he'll get up and walk across the screen sometimes. And then the last time I did a pop-up class, I put him in the other room so he wouldn't be there. And then lo and behold, at the end of the class, everybody's like, well, where's Pepper? Mm-hmm. Pepper will be out to make his, like he'll come out and make his debut, and not debut, but he'll come out and do his how do you do, later. I said, but right now he get to be away, because once I start doing a dance fitness class, so I'm making too much noise, he literally will get up and leave the room like, you're making too much noise. I can't deal with that. I thought we were just sitting here jamming.
Yeah.
And so
he's a star. So, stars born, he's got to be seen, so hey, but now we just need to get him to start paying the bills. So you need to utilize him more. Okay. I keep threatening to start him an Instagram and a YouTube and a TikTok, because I done seen these other dogs on here. I say, this dog got 3 million followers. I said, well, Pepper, What are you doing other than eating and laying around? Mm-hmm. Taking up
space.
Said,
okay. I said, I was like, so we have to put you to work. Of course, that means now I get to do extra work. So not only am I doing, our stuff, my stuff, other stuff, I said I'll be doing his stuff. So I'll still be working for the man, but don't worry. I'll be sure to take my cut.
Exactly.
A nice, healthy
huge cut too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Be like, yeah, this is going to be a 90-10 relationship. 10% go to you, 90% come to me.
Sounds like a plan. I think you're onto something, and you need to move forward with it. So hey, I'm just saying. I see all these other people out here with their dogs. I was like, the Pepper, you on your way. So next time you get your haircut, we're gonna start it. So get ready. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But enough about me and my life. What's going on over here?
So much more interesting.
Sometimes it's not, but it seemed like it. He makes me laugh. But But let's talk about Lady K and what you're up to in these streets out here.
Well, it has been the most interesting week. Work side has been kind of crazy and over the top, but business side, it has been full of recommendations, accommodations, shout outs, hellos, thank yous. I mean, it's just been a really good week. Again, like I said, thank you for talking about me this week and, promoting who I am and sharing, what I do. And then, I had an opportunity to be on the Clubhouse today with the Caravan Social Club with Janine Just and Claudia Solo. And it was impromptu completely. So that was really fun. It was my first time actually speaking on a platform. So I was really excited about that. I was like horrified though. I was like, oh, wow, what am I going to say? So because it was literally impromptu in 2 seconds. So that was really exciting. And then for most people who don't know, I guess let me just kind of backtrack, because I'm talking about, podcasts and Clubhouse and all this type of stuff. But I am the CEO and founder of the Women's Small Business Initiative, LLC, here in the Woodbridge area, which, of course, is outside of Washington, D.C. Metro. And then I am the host of, as I say, your favorite host of the podcast, Your Resource for Success, which is on iHeartRadio and 13 other different platforms as well. But being a part of that platform, and then, of course, the co-host here of Moments with Lady K and Mr. T, it's just been a phenomenal week. And so also yesterday, I was real excited because we celebrated on Your Resource for Success podcast the 200th show. The 200th episode was on yesterday live, and most people know my shows are live, so it was extremely exciting to be able to share that experience. I had on an author, a speaker, he was a consultant. His name is Damon the Real Naylor, and so we had a fantastic time. And then we're also currently doing a campaign to raise more funds for Your Resource for Success, not just the podcast side of it, but all the free programs that we do provide on the platform through WSBI LLC. And so it was so great that here he is, the 200th person to do an episode live on the show, and he donated $200 to represent the 200. So I'm putting out the same challenge I put out today to all the listeners who are listening to this show. We'd love to have everybody's support to be a part of Your Resource for Success podcast. And if there's free resources and items that you need to have, you're starting a business or you want your voice to be heard in a different way, because I am an author and I also train people how to self-publish their own books. So all these different things that we bring through WSBI, we normally, we do charge a lot, for our certain services, but then we also give so much of our time and our services for free to those who are really prepared and ready to open their voice up, want to be heard, and they want to do it in a way that it leaves a legacy. And, now the big thing obviously is, everybody wants to be an author, so that's available. But then of course, having a podcast is the biggest thing that everybody is doing, because you can constantly reach people in a way that you will never be able to reach normally. So just, putting in my little 2 cents in there. Okay. So it's like, I know this is not what Moments of Lady K Mistaht T are about, but that we do, always share resources even on this program. And we're here to uplift and inspire people to do what they want to do and learn from our experiences. So still combining both of our businesses that we have, is how we actually came up with this particular podcast itself. And so it's all really comes full circle for us. And then we also are, I'm part of the co-brand of Purple and Pink with movewithtee here. And, we also do that amazing dance fitness program at the end of every year during the month of October, representing and doing sponsorship and raising funds for domestic violence awareness and for breast cancer awareness. So we have a lot on our plates that we do for people, and we do, we love the recognition, but we also love to have the thing that makes things work, which is the cha-ching. I'm going to just come out and say it. This is what helps these programs maintain the awareness and do the programs that they're doing, so that we are all keeping safe and we're keeping healthy. And whether it's doing Zumba, dance fitness, whether it's about, like I said, the breast cancer awareness programs, or whether it's about domestic violence awareness programs, whether it's about writing a book, whether it's about learning how to host a podcast, all of it comes full circle for us. And we know that what we're providing are, we're providing great information that's valuable. The content is free. but it all still in the background, it does cost something. So we really would love to have those continuous support through our businesses. And, we will continue to feed you all because, as they say, closed mouths don't get fed. And, you really need to continue to grow. And we provide that platform for you on both of our businesses and then together as well. So, okay, I'm going to quit preaching now. This is now back to Moments with Lady K and Mr. T. Woo, this is starting out hot today. We've already gone through half a show. We ain't even got on our topic yet. Ain't this crazy?
Oh my gosh, you're right.
But it's actually a great segue into moving into the topic of today. And it is it important to have a business full of something or with what you desire? And it's a cool topic, and I was telling Tarek earlier, or Mr. T, that, I had a post earlier this week that I had did, and I'm always the type of person, I'm always thinking. And normally I'm usually frustrated about something that's going on either in my head or in my life or what's surrounding me or things that I think that I need to reevaluate or reassess on. And it's funny how, when you're in business, there's always people telling you that, you should be doing this or you should be doing that, for your business. You should have all these different streams of line and products and services, and not sitting back and thinking how when they're telling you this information that they're not realizing that it can wear you out to do too much and to have too much on your plate. And you're not having the capability of really focusing on that one thing that makes you a standout, or that one thing that truly is your passion. And so, in my mind, I struggle with it a lot of times because I do have some great services that I provide, but I believe that my focus should really always be on that one main thing that I feel as a business person that is essentially helping those that I work with, my clientele that I work with, and whether it's new or existing or, whatever case may be, that, I just think it's important that you stick to what your heart's desire is. It's not always about having a bunch of things in order to say, I have a business. And I think a lot of people struggle how they want to blossom and how they want to spread their wings because they're not understanding what their true purpose is, because everybody is kind of pulling them in directions of saying, well, you have to do this, you have to do that, and not really saying, hone in on what your specialty is in your craft. Now, yes, as a business, there are things you have to do to be a successful business, but those are some things as well that you're not going to be able to always do on your own. I'll always recommend suggesting outsourcing or whatever the case may be, so you can hone on to your craft and your expertise or whatever it is that business may be. So it was just a thought that I was having that I just like, this is a great topic of conversation, because I honestly believe that I'm not the only one who thinks this way when they've either, have started a business or either are thinking about a business, but they're too scared to take those steps forward because of the struggle of, well, what do I really need to, to provide? How many things do people think that they need? And we all think, of course, that when we're in business that we, everybody's going to flock, when we open up a business, because that's just the nature of the beast of being a business owner. But, that's just some things that I grapple with sometimes. And I just wanted to share that with my listeners. And then, of course, as we continue this conversation, we will obviously provide y'all a few tips. But I would like to get my co-host's thought process on this topic this evening. Why are you laughing at me?
I'll say, well, I'm laughing for a couple different reasons, because the first reason is because normally I typically come up with the show topics, but I was like, I kind of hit a standstill, and it was so interesting when you sent this. I was like, yeah, that works. And then immediately after we finished texting, I was just like, I started thinking about the topic. And I was like, and it just things were just thoughts just started coming to me. Mm-hmm. So, and thinking about the topic, is it important to have a business full of something or with what you desire? My interpretation of that, and so I want to give everybody my the way my perspective and how I'm looking at the question, or framing my answer to the question is it important to have a business full of something, anything, whatever, or with what you love? And so initially I thought of some of our major chain department stores. So, and you can think of some begin with the T, some begin with the W. You guys can probably figure out what those are. If I have to spell it out for you, then it is what it is. But since they're not sponsoring us, then I'm not going to give them their just due. But like I said, these major department stores have everything within them. Sometimes some of them even have grocery stores within them. You can buy clothes, food, talk about the pharmacy. You can get your flu vaccine. You can get your everything. Gift cards. You can get birthday cards, things of that nature. Your toiletries. So it's like a one-stop shop.
Right.
And when I think about stores like that, they just have the whole purpose of stores like that is to be able to appeal to the masses. So you can come here and get everything you need, which is fine. Because there's a place there is a place and a role for places like that. And for people that feel that way, fine, if that's what you want to do. The other side of that are having those niche stores that specialize in specific things. It could be a card store, although you don't really see those anymore for the birthday cards and stuff like that. You don't really see those types of stores anymore. But when you get into niche stores, like specific types of clothing, specific types of clothing for specific genders, shoe stores, places that are pharmacies, when you get into those, they appeal to people because they offer a specific service. So, not to say that they do what they love, but they kind of are in a niche market. And when we do what we love, we kind of put ourselves in a niche place. And I remember having a conversation with a homegirl of mine, and I kept encouraging her to start her own business. And not to say she hadn't had her own business before, but and encouraging her to kind of create a new business, a new flow. One of the things we talked about were some of her specialties, some of her key skills. And for her, in just coming up with a name for her company was hard because, and she admitted to me finally that the problem was, she's like, I do so many things, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. And what I explained to her was, and not to say to all those listeners out there, not to say that I am the master of business, because I'm still a newbie at it, and I'm learning as I go. But so I don't want to go out there and say, take this from me. But one of the most important things I think in starting a business is starting out with something that's your strength and or something that you're passionate about, and forging your way with that. Coming up with a business name and title or brand name and title, personally, I like something that is more open and all encompassing.
You're right.
I'm saying that word wrong, but I know I'm right.
You got it.
Yeah, it's just like it felt weird coming out of my mouth, but it's like I think when you're coming up with a business and you don't want to limit yourself to just one specific thing, even if you don't know what those other things are that you want to do, come up with a business name and or title that allows you to be able to grow and create other vehicles of success, underneath that same thing. And so that's what I encourage her to do. I'm not going to say whether she's done it or not, because we're not going to talk about her.
Right.
But I wanted to bring that up because something, like I said, I just really encouraged her to start off with what you're good at, this specific thing. Yes, I know you want to do this and that and that and that and that, but when you're establishing a business, I think the most important thing is for people to get to know you for something.
Right. Exactly.
and associate that thing with you, whatever it is. And then, you know, after a couple years, you know, and that's why it's important to have a timeline and say, you know, I want to use some other things too, and then start slowly indoctrinating those other things slowly into what you do. So, oh, I don't just offer this service, but I also offer this.
Right.
And then eventually I offer this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, you slowly grow your business. So to answer the question of the topic, to bring it full circle,
mm-hmm.
personally, I believe that it's based on my interpretation of the question. I think it's most important to have a business that you love,
mm-hmm.
because then you can really grow it and nurture it in a specific type of way. And when you do it, it really, yes, some days it's going to feel like work, but when you do it, you're going to do it because you know, this is what I like to do. This is what I enjoy. This, you know, this is my purpose. And if you're just doing something just to make money, and I know some people just like to make money. They're like, I want money. Like, look at Cardi B. She said in her interview,
mm-hmm.
or in interview, that the only reason why she's doing what she's doing is because she want to make money. She want to have a lot of money. And it's okay to know that. And if you're going to do that, then you have to be smart about how you frame your business. And if you want to do a little bit of everything, just go out there like, bam. But even with a Cardi B, she's still in a very niche market. She's just grown her brand where her niche is now accepted by the general public and not just by a very specific group of people. So you have to be very smart about what you're doing, no matter how you do it. But
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would just encourage people to honestly to do what it is that you love, because when you love what you do, you will put parts of yourself into it to nurture it and grow it in ways that, if you're just trying to make money from it and that's the sole purpose,
mm-hmm.
that you won't do. You're like, it'll be easier to turn off at the end of the night, or at the end of the day, when it's just a business that you're doing. Whereas when it's your brand and your company that you're growing and nurturing and developing in a specific type of way, you're going to be spending those late nights and those early mornings, and you know, oh, I got an idea at 3:00 in the morning. Let me write this down. So it's going to be a whole different attachment,
right? Exactly.
To the base, to the seed that you're growing. So those are my thoughts for businesses and how you want to do them.
And you're right on point. You know, the way your interpretation of it is. You're definitely on point, because, you know, listening to what you were saying about the example that you gave about this individual who wanted to start a business, but had so many things coming, you know, out of the, as I call it, the goodie bag, you know, and when you're starting a business, you can't pull everything out of the goodie bag and all at once, because you can't concentrate on everything all at once. And then, like you said, for people to get to know who you are, you need to be able to, they need to be able to see what are you good at with the one thing versus what are you good at with several things. And then having to figure out, do you even really know what your business is? It's kind of like a singer, you know, when they first come out, most people try to emulate those people that they are attracted to or attached to and enjoy their music. And then they end up sounding like them because they hadn't really found their voice. Right. So it's kind of that same scenario that you have to find your voice. You have to find your purpose. And in the beginning, if you decide that you were going to pull everything out of the goodie bag, the reality is that, you know, you're going to have to pivot. You're going to eventually fall, you know, because you're not concentrating on what is your real purpose. And it's okay to pivot. It's okay to realize that, hey, after being in business for 6 months or a year or whatever, that the one or two things that you decided that you wanted to do, you may have to tweak it. And anybody who's in business is always going to go back and relook at their business to see what's working, what isn't working. And you may find as you grow further down the line that this isn't working for me and I need to take this off, or I may need to add this on because this is more represents who I am as a part of the business that has truly grown and what people recognize me or the services or the products or whatever it is that you're doing for that business. And you know, for myself, I can say I have gone through that several times in the last 5 years. When I originally started WSBI, my thought was just doing a membership based platform, of resources that women could come to and, do everything virtually, and they could come in and, pay a monthly fee, and we're all gaining knowledge. Well, guess what? I realized I wasn't the only person doing that. So, you find yourself trying to figure out, how does that work? And then when I talked about doing everything virtually 5 years ago, people laughed at me. It was like, oh, nobody wants to do anything virtually. Well, here, look at where we're at today. Everything is done virtually. So, having the thought process of what it means to be in business, it's not about just doing something. It's great that you can make money, but at the end of the day, if you're chasing the dollar versus chasing your purpose, it does make it harder, I believe, to grow in the way you want to grow and be more authentic and organic in who you are. Because if you're chasing just the dollar, you're constantly having to figure out, how am I going to make money versus how are you going to service the people that you want to come to the business in order for you to make the money that you want to make. So, you're definitely right on with your theory and the thought process of this question and this topic of discussion, because that was exactly my thought process. But, like I said, once you're in business and you're trying to find ways that you want to grow, you want to do different things, there's always people pulling and telling you, well, you need to have this and you need to have that. And after a while, it gets a little bit overwhelming, because if you have that one thing in your heart and that's what you desire, that's really what you want to stick to. But feeling like you have to do 20 other things, and somebody telling you, well, it's not going to be successful unless you do these 20 other things. And I honestly don't believe that is the right path for people to feel like they have to go on if that is not what they desire to do. So, this topic of discussion is definitely for those who are listening and, like I said, are on the fence, teeter-totter, trying to figure out where they want to do, how they want to grow. Basically, the attitude is, what do you want to be when you grow up type scenario in business. And as far as business is concerned, you're always growing. And if you're not growing, then you are definitely in the wrong business, period. So,
right.
It's a give or take. You have to learn in order to continue to grow.
And also, I think it's important to also realize not just your overall goals. Yes, we all want to do, I don't say everything, but we all want to do many things. Mm-hmm. And personally, I like to say about myself that, I'm a jack of all trades, but master of none. I know this and I know that and I know this and I do that. You learn a little bit here about many things or how to do certain things, but have I mastered any of those things? No. Some things I probably have in comparison with others.
Right. I was going to say, wait, I think you have. Right.
When we think about work, just things, I'm like the things that I know, I remember one place where I worked, I'm familiar with, we'll talk about Microsoft, as far as the Microsoft Office, you got your Word and your Excel and PowerPoint. And then Access. Hate Access only because I don't know it very well.
Right.
I know like a smidgen of it. And I learned that eons ago, so I'm sure it's changed way since then. But, with what I know about, Outlook, what I know about Word, with what I know about Excel, with what I know about PowerPoint. I was working in an office with some folks, and we did a lot of administrative stuff, and I'm just sitting here, on these documents, doing things, blah, 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 blah. They're like, and sometimes I'll be typing, and they're like, Terica, you over there typing a book? I'm like, no, I'm over here doing what I'm doing, creating formulas and drop-down boxes and doing all this, that, and the third. And they're like, one guy was like, I don't know what that is. I honestly think at one point that, may he rest in peace, that he might have even been scared of the computer. Because he preferred to just write stuff down on paper, because he was just so old school that we would just write stuff down. It's like, you do know that if you put this into this thing here in the computer, it'll go to your device that we use when we're out doing our job.
Right.
And you don't have to go through and then write the stuff down on paper. You can just save the paper for like those one-off, those random things that don't necessarily go in here. Everything that you're writing down is stuff that that you need on a regular basis, so put it in here. And he would never do it. And I was like, well, okay, do what you want. And there was another coworker. She was just like, she was in school to learn how to use these apps. She was taking some classes. Mm-hmm. Kudos to her, and she's always called me Great One. Shout out to her. She was the only girl. She was actually the only girl in our department, which was just interesting. And I trained her, so shout out to her. Mm-hmm. Even to this day, we don't work together anymore. She'll still message me or text me and say, "Hey, Great One." But because everything I taught her, she was like, I took everything that you said to heart. Mm-hmm. And then with me going to classes and learning, I was able to apply the stuff. But I guess my whole point in bringing everything home, it's nice to want to know everything and do everything. But unfortunately, it's impossible for one person, especially if you're a small business,
exactly,
to do everything. And I want to bring it home even further to really explain it to people. Think about most of us, if we have our side hustle, our side business, we all have a full-time job. And usually it's just you running your business, or you and maybe your husband, your wife is helping you out. Your spouse, I'll say your spouse or significant other might be helping you out, in the fray, or maybe you got children. Hey, y'all, put these bags together for me, and put this, and you tell them what to put in each bag while you're doing something else. But when it all comes down to it, and you really, really think about it, small business typically doesn't have the resources, the monetary and the financial resources that big business has. Mm-hmm. So big business can dip into everything. And when your small business grows to a large business or medium business and then a large business, as you grow, you can start dipping into other things. So I think what's important is, yes, you want to do everything. I get it. And that goes to everybody out there, because I'm sure there are some folks out there listening. I want to do this and I want to do that. I want to do that. But focus on one thing first. And plus, unless you come from money, and I don't come from money,
Right.
I wasn't destitute, but I'm saying I don't come from money, and the money that I have, goes toward my life. And so my business is something that I grow kind of separately and I invest in. But you have to be aware. If I tried to go out and do everything that I really would like to do, I'd probably be broken on the street. Because I'd be putting so much money into my company, and not being able to really foster just one specific avenue. And that's really important right now, since we're still in the midst of a panorama.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm.
You want to be smart about how you introduce your business. Like if have that thing that you're known for, that you're either known for or that you want to be known for. And start that, even if it's a fans only. I said it backwards on purpose. Mm-hmm, if that's what you want to do, then do that. But but grow it in the way that you need to grow it and pay attention to it. So this is my biggest thing, is just being smart about how you grow your company and grow your brand. And one other thing I wanted to share was, because I'm a former dancer. Dancer, actor, all that stuff. And, a lot of times when you go to an audition, in addition to the casting table having you audition for whatever role, they ask you, tell me about yourself. Mm-hmm. And for those of us who've ever been on a job interview, what question do we sometimes get, other than the strengths and weaknesses? What are your greatest strengths? What are your greatest weaknesses?
Right.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Exactly.
So that is your time to sell your brand and who you are. That's your time to sell your business. So you don't necessarily want to, unless your job or the job you're applying for is to be a jack of all trades and the master of none, and then you want to be very specific about what you're doing. If you're applying to be a cashier, you want to talk about your customer service. You want to talk about your cash handling experience, and things of that nature. If you're applying for a job to be a IT person, you want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about your experience as a cashier because that's not relevant to your IT. And if you're applying to be a cashier, you don't want to talk about your IT because that's not relevant to the job for which you're applying.
Exactly.
Because you really want to talk about the things that are going to sell you in the role that you're going to be playing, because that role is very specific. So I just think that the bottom line is to be cognizant of what it is you want to do, even if it's everything, and then shrink it down and focus on something, offer that, and then grow from there. And give yourself time to grow from there. As unfortunately, people sometimes are not the brightest, and that's the other thing, is that people are not always receptive to a whole lot. If you come and tell me that you do 15 things, I want to say you're doing too much.
Right.
But
exactly.
if you come and tell me that you are offering this, or maybe this and this, I'm like, okay, well, tell me a little bit more about this, or tell me about this and this. Because that's more easily ingestible, or more easily ingested by people. Because if you hit them with everything you got, you're going to overwhelm them. Just grow it slowly.
Right. So, and they're not going to take you seriously, when you start to hit them with everything up front, because at that point they're going to say to themselves, they really don't know what they want to do. So why would I want to spend time and money, with this individual if they don't have a clue what their business is truly about? So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, this conversation, you guys should have gotten some great golden nuggets out of it. We have shared excellent information when it comes to business, and I hope that you all have definitely been inspired. We are coming close to the end here of the show, so I don't think we can beat the horse any more than we have when it comes to this topic, but I just thought it was a great topic of discussion to kind of hone in on. People are still with us still doing more working from home, and people's minds are churning constantly and thinking about, well, what else can I do to more beneficial for myself versus just sitting around the house? Because after you finish with your day, it seems like people have more time on their hands, and we've had to pivot a lot last year, and we're still doing some pivoting this year in 2021 because of the pandemic. So, I thought this was a great opportunity to continue to have these topics of discussion and to continue to give people ideas, even though we're here in the month of March. We're still a part of the first quarter, soon and obviously getting over with the quarter, but I just think it is really great to constantly chisel it in our mind as well, because as we are talking to you guys, the listeners, we are constantly thinking and growing within ourselves. So we're sharing our expertise, as I said earlier, but at the same token, we learn from each other. So every time we have our monthly show here, I'm always learning something great about Mr. T, whether he did something new or something he did before I didn't even know about. And then, of course, topics of conversations like this. So, it's definitely been a great evening. And, Mr. T, do you have anything else that you would like to share with our wonderful listeners tonight?
Well, two things. Starting off, you all can find us on Facebook at Moments with Lady K and Mr. T. Once again, on Facebook, you can find us Moments with Lady K and Mr. T. If you're on Instagram, you can find us at the Lady K and Mr. T podcast. And that's K. In both instances, it's K, just the letter K, and T, just the letter T. And Mr. is Mistah. So, on Instagram, you can find us at Lady K and Mr. T podcast. And if you want to email us and share your thoughts, or you have a good topic that you'd like for us to discuss going forward, you can email us at momentstandk@gmail.com. That's momentstandk@gmail.com. And to wrap everything up based on our show topic, I've actually found this quote online. I don't know who gets the credit for it, but I want to share it, and hopefully whoever it belongs to will say, oh, that's me. But the quote goes, by doing what you love, you inspire and awaken the hearts of others.
Love it. Repeat that one more time, Mr. T.
Okay, one more time. By doing what you love, you inspire and awaken the hearts of others.
All right. Well, if you guys have not been inspired by what we have said this evening, or either that last quote that he has said 2 times, I'm gonna tell you, then you need to rethink. You need to reassess where you're at in your life and what you want to do. But you're more than welcome to always reach out to us. If you forgot what our real names are, my name is Kimberly McLemore, and then we have.
My name is Tarek Coles. You can find me on social media as Tarek Scott, but I'm Mr. Tarek Coles, aka Mr. Movewithtee.
Yeah, I was gonna say he got about 20 names, so but he'll come up because Tarek's is not one of your everyday names, so he'll definitely find him. But yes, you can absolutely find us on the Moments with Lady K and Mr. T platforms, social media platforms, as well as our own personal platforms that we have through Move with T LLC and also through WSBI LLC. So, we have questions or you're concerned, you just want to talk to us and just chat about what you think your future is looking like or what you would like to do. And if there's any way we can help you and we can motivate you even further, please do not be scared to reach out to us. And again, as Mr. T said, if there is a topic of discussion that you would like for us to analyze and would like our feedback on, send us the information and a DM us, whatever you want to do, email us, whatever works best for you. And we will definitely bring that out because we are only here once a month and doing the show. So, it gives us plenty of time to think about the topics that we want to discuss and how we can continue to inspire you all, our listeners. So again, I would like to thank you all for listening to the show tonight. And of course, Mr. T, I love being with you and I hate saying good night, but we have finally come to the end. Yes. And tell Pepper good night too,
He's probably somewhere out there sleeping. He's probably on my sofa, knocked out, laid out.
Of course. All right. Well, again, like I said, thank you. Always love spending my time with you. Is so enjoyable. And again, thank you for the great shout outs this week. And like I said, we will be back next month with another amazing topic. Follow us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcast. But until then, you all have a good evening and good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Moments with Lady K and Mr. T will return next month at 7 p.m. Follow us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.